Today, we're going to talk about mindset. And I know a lot of people out there talk about mindset, but I want you to hear what I got to say, because I have a philosophy on mindset that is very important to me, the way I work, and the way that everybody here in the agency works. So it's not just about work hard and grind and stay motivated, because that stuff's cool just until the video's over, until the speaker gets off stage. That stuff, unfortunately, doesn't really stay with you. What you really want to understand is what you want to be able to accomplish over the next year. And then you want to break that up and you want to say, okay, if I want to accomplish that over the next year, what do I have to do in this quarter, this quarter, this quarter, and this quarter, right? So January, February, March. Okay, now if I want to accomplish that by the end of March, what do I have to do January? So break it up by month, by week, and then every day you should be working towards it. So here are some things that I want you to focus on when it comes to mindset. Number one, don't give a damn about what anybody says. Because you're going to have people come up to you and tell you things that are going to mess your whole head up. You want to make sure you're focused on you and what the people that are doing great things are doing and how they think. You don't want to pay attention to the sides of you, and you don't want to pay attention to what's behind you. You only want to look at the top one or two people, what they're doing, and you want to focus and get real clear on how you can do that too. Some of the ways that you can do this is by really setting up a daily routine where every single morning you will do the same thing. You'll notice the most successful people have morning routines where they do the same thing every single day. So as an example, I wake up every morning at 6 a.m. By 6:15, I'm already having my green drink. It's got a bunch of stuff in there, from turmeric to chlorophyll to vitamin D to green vibrance to cod liver oil. And you can learn a little bit more about that as you kind of follow and you see how I've actually, I think, made videos on how to do that. I go down, do some meditation for 20 minutes. I immediately get to the gym after a pre-workout drink. I'm usually working out by 6:45, done by 7:45. Come back and read for about an hour or so. And then I shower, and then I head to work. And while I'm on my way to work, I'm listening to my either podcast or audiobook, or maybe a recording of something that I wanted to see if I can get better at, which you've learned about in the previous skill. What happens is the rest of the world, most of the world, is surrounded by a society that unfortunately has limits. And great people never talk about limits. One of my good friends, Billie Jean, taught me that. And when you're in a room full of successful people, the conversation is never, ever about limits. So unfortunately, when you're in the real world, you hear things like this. Oh yeah, if I won the lottery, I would definitely do something like this, right? Why do you have to win the lottery to do anything? Why do you have to be lucky to do anything? You should never do that. Or, yeah, my boss is this again. Or my coworkers are this again. Or can't wait till Friday, can't wait till the weekend. Or Monday's coming up. That is the thing you want to not surround yourself with. Think about it this way. You may have kids, you may not, but either way, I want you to imagine you had a daughter, and if you could tell your daughter who to hang out with, and you can actually make that choice. No matter what you choose, she'll be fine with the choice. She could either hang out with a bunch of girls that do drugs and go out and party and really don't have anything going on, or she can hang out with a bunch of girls that are into fitness and they're reading and they have their things set up already as far as what they want to do for internships and their career. You get to pick which one are you going to choose. Hands down, you're going to choose this one. It's common sense. And the reason you do that is because you already know that you are a product of your environment. And if you're a product of your environment, then you can't be a hypocrite and not surround yourself around the same types of people you would want your kids to surround themselves around with. And speaking of being a hypocrite, that's another thing. What do parents tell their kids all the time? Do your best. I don't care what you do, just do your best. Now ask yourself, are you? Are you really doing your best? Look at what you did today. Look at what you did yesterday. And look at your calendar, if you have one, for what you're going to do tomorrow. Can you admit that, yes, you are absolutely doing your best? And another thing you tell your kid is, listen, don't be afraid, okay? Just go out there. If you mess up, it's totally okay, but I just want you to try. That's what you tell your kids, right? Now, are you doing it? Or are you letting fear stop you because you're afraid maybe what people will think, or what happens if you fail, or if it doesn't work, or a whole bunch of other reasons? It doesn't really matter. You're making them up because there's really only two fears that we're born with: falling and loud noises. Everything else has been created as our experience in the society has gone on. So you have to make sure that you're hanging out with the people that do not think about those things, and the only conversation they have is, how are we going to make this shit happen? And if you can do that, it's an amazing thing, but you will be talking about those things too. You want to learn Spanish? Move to Spain. I guarantee you'll learn it way faster than just by listening to Spanish audiobooks. If you want to learn to cook, hang out with great cooks. You want to get in better shape? Move in with a couple personal trainers. Watch your whole body change in 3 months. That's just the way it works. So who you spend your time with and what time you spend your brain doing, right? So if your brain is listening to music that doesn't mean anything for 3 hours a day when you could be doing other stuff, that's fine. No one says don't listen to music. Just understand that that's the trade-off. So when it comes to your mindset, you can't be afraid of failure. And if you are, just stop the skill now because none of the other ones matter. You're just doing it for fun now, okay? You don't have to wait until you perfect something in order to get started. College, unfortunately, teaches you that. There are so many benefits to college. You learn how to learn. You learn new complex things. You train your body how to learn things that it wasn't wired to learn. And that's the best advantage of it. You learn to work on a system. The negative to college is it teaches you to learn first, then get a job and get paid for it. In the real world, right now, you don't even have to wait for the next skills. Go out there and get some clients. If you mess up a little bit, you mess up a little bit, but I guarantee you'll learn faster by messing up with real clients than you would if you just kind of wait the next 2, 3 months or years or however long it's going to take for you to finally get your mind right and start working. So mindset's the biggest thing. We talked about in the last book, or in the last skill, read a lot. And by reading, it's almost like hanging out with those authors because you get to hear their well thought out ideas in a book for the entire time that you're reading it. So if you don't have a great network yet, that's fine. Work on that. Start meeting people. Go to conferences. Go to events. Go to places where these people that are doing things, these speakers, are actually at, and then find a way to attach yourself to them. Get mentorship. Get coaching. You want to make it to the top, understand that's what the people at the top are doing. Your best coaches have coaches and their coaches have coaches. And if you think you can get away without having one too, it just doesn't really add up, does it? So understand that's the biggest thing you got to work on. Mindset is a very hard thing to master, especially if you're around the wrong people, the wrong things. But if you can get that dialed in, everything else is easy.